My name's Melissa with Ultra Geothermal. I'm located in Barrington, New Hampshire. For the next few minutes, we're going to talk about what different types of geothermal heat pump systems you can put in. I'm standing right now in front of a water-to-air system. This system is able to give you both heating and cooling from the same unit. It is one of the most efficient systems to operate since it is heating air. In addition to this, people choose this system over a water-to-water system to get both the heating and cooling out of it. Essentially what it does is uses a ground source loop no matter which type of system you choose, a water-to-water or water-to-air. They're going to take the same requirements as far as a loop field outside. So you're going to choose either a closed loop system with water glycol in it, or you're also going to have the option of an open loop system that uses well water, brings it into the system, returns it back to the ground, and it gets optimal temperatures of about 50 degrees. Essentially what you're doing right now with looking at this unit is what it's going to do is take in the water from outside, and this is a closed loop system, so it's running at about 39 to 42 degrees of incoming temperatures. And geothermal is very efficient just because it doesn't recognize outside air temperature. So it can be 0 degrees out or it could be 50 degrees out, and it still has the same incoming ground temperature. So that's how it makes it much more efficient. When people have an option between what they're choosing, and you'd have to look at your house, how you're constructing it, what your needs are. If it's a retrofit situation, in almost all cases we would need to figure out how to put air ducting in if you don't have it already, since the air system would be the premium choice. Radiant system runs with PEX tubes in the floor, and the PEX tubes are something that would be installed during a new construction phase, so it's only eligible if you're doing a gutting and remodel. Essentially what we have in the whole entire room here is this right here is a water-to-air system. It also has a humidifier on it, so some of the questions that I get often is how do you keep the humidity level at where you want. You don't want drafty, dry air. A lot of systems have these types of connotations to them. So you can adjust this to where you want the humidity level, typically about 30 to 40%. The rest of the system is piped through a hot water heating system here. We have just a normal hot water heating tank that you could put in with anything. It just has to be an electric water heating tank. So it's going to be gaining some of its temperature from the inside of the heat pump. When it shuts off and it's running in second stage, it's going to be able to boost your water for your domestic needs so that it will save you money on heating hot water. In this particular circumstance, this is our preheat tank, and then next to this we have what's known as a water to, or it's an air sourced water heating system. So it's going to be taking in the air, ambient temperature around us in the basement, using that heat to dehumidify the basement, also heat the hot water with it. This runs at about 6 times more efficient than a normal hot water heating. What this portion of the heat pump system is a pump module that's meant for the closed loop that we just talked about. So if you have a closed loop system, you're going to need some type of an either non-pressurized or pressurized flow system. This one happens to be non-pressurized, which means the customer can open the top of it, fill it as they need to. There shouldn't be any need to do that. Once you put the glycol into it and the water, then it pretty much settles itself. It runs at very low amperage. It's very quiet. It has a pump pull module in it that basically moves the fluid from the ground. In our particular circumstance, we have 1,600 feet of borehole running through 4 boreholes into the ground. Comes back in through this and then goes into the heat pump. This is a water-to-water system that we had explained briefly. System typically that most customers don't choose this because this gives you radiant heat in the floor. So PEX tubes placed in the floor. The disadvantage to the system is it doesn't operate in a cooling mode, so it would be a heating only system. And if you do choose that you want radiant heat and air heat, as it is in this house, then we can use combination units, or you could do 2 separate units as what's in this residence here.